Right, it's about 6:30 in the morning. I'm getting ready to head outside and do a little bit of work and put some seeds into the ground. If you're curious about what on earth I could possibly be planting, seeding into my garden in June in the Phoenix Valley, let me go ahead and show you. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, vegan prepper. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, vegan prepper. Alright, so first up, some okra. I've never grown okra before, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot this year because it is a vegetable that we can grow in the heat of our summers. Armenian cucumbers, same thing. I have not grown these before, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot this summer. Jamaican sorrel, which I have grown many times before. This is actually what hibiscus tea is made of, and this is just like a little tiny point of contention, which may seem like nitpicking, but just as an FYI for anybody who wants to grow it, I even on like Azure Standard, all kinds of places, when they sell hibiscus for teas, they say the flowers of the hibiscus plant. This right here is a flower, this white thing. That is not what the tea is made out of. The tea is made out of the petals of the calyx right here, which is left behind once the flower drops off. A seed pod forms inside here, and you usually discard the seed pod and keep the petals of the calyx, and that is what hibiscus tea is made out of. And I'm only mentioning it because I want to make absolutely sure that anybody who wants to grow doesn't like harvest the flowers and then leave these things, because this is what you need. But regardless, I'm doing it not only for the calyxes, but actually, primarily this summer, I want to grow these as a crop of greens. There are regions in the world which grow these for their greens and not for the calyx. Thailand, I think, is one of them. But anyway, obviously this one apparently had some issues, so we'll see what I managed to get. This is my last seed pack, and I need to order more. I'm going to go ahead and also plant a bit of Egyptian spinach. This is Molochia. It is basically a weed in Egypt, but it is also a great source of summer greens. And I have grown it before, and it grows wonderfully, and it puts off so many seeds like you would not believe. Like, it's insane. This is just one packet I have. I have a million packets of seeds of this from just one plant I grew like way long ago. But I wanted to say too that the fibers of the stem of the Egyptian spinach, the Molochia plant, are apparently what jute is made out of. So this year I absolutely want to experiment at least a little bit with seeing if I can make my own jute from the stem of the plant once it's done, and sort of researching that process as a plant-based, fiber or rope or whatever. So anyway, these are the weird things that excite me. And also, it is still time to plant cantaloupe. So I'm going to go ahead and plant some cantaloupe, some beautiful summer fruit that can give us some sweetness. And these all grow perfectly fine in summer. Apparently, I have seen other people who grow okra and Armenian cucumber at this time. And then I personally have grown all of these things at this time. There's also loofah, which I want to get into the ground, but I need to weed a certain spot in the garden, and I'm not doing that this morning. This is going to be a quick get out there, get seeds in the ground, get back in. It's already like 85 degrees, which is not too bad, but I don't want to get super sweaty because I have a lot to do today. This is the calendar that I use for my timing. Edible Landscaping Calendar Desert Southwest. I've bought a few of these and given them away, and I'm just still using the one from 2017 because the timing still seems okay. But probably I will buy another calendar soon. But it's by Catherine Crowley. You can find these on Amazon if you live in the same area. This was what changed me from a gardener who was frustrated and didn't ever manage to grow anything well into a gardener that has a very successful and thriving garden, even at the hottest times of year when it's very difficult to do that here, at least if you don't have the information of what you can plant and when. I live in the Phoenix Valley and garden in USDA zone 9B, and we basically do not grow even remotely close to what everyone else is growing in the country at basically any given time. For an example, there are strawberry plants currently in Home Depot and Lowe's in my area, but we do not plant strawberries until December here. So yeah, there's just so many things that you can't really grow in the heat, but then there are also plenty of things that you can, and it's just knowing what you can grow when, and then you will have great success. I will also mention eggplants do very well here, but I'm not planting any new eggplants this year because I still have eggplants that survived from last summer, and I have some kind of perennial eggplant bushes going right now. Apparently after 2 to 3 years they stop producing as much, so probably next year or the year after I will need to replant eggplant, but this year I don't have to, so bonus. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get outside and actually do the work. I have lettuce seeds to collect. This was my biggest, most beautiful volunteer lettuce plant, and it is the one I'm collecting seeds from. Here, look at my cayenne plant. I just planted this a little while ago, and look, it is completely full of cayenne peppers. I'm really excited about this for making my own medicinal salves, and now I don't have to buy cayenne and I can do it myself. If you guys haven't ever used a good cayenne salve for like muscle soreness or anything like that, then you are missing out. It's absolutely fantastic. And my little volunteer basil plant. So this one, it started popping up kind of way too late. We will see if it actually forms a nice plant. Let me see. So Adam always likes to say basil is a hydra. So I've already cut off part of it. I pinched off the base right here, and so it formed 2 new shoots. So now it looks like it's time to pinch it off again. So you just pinch right there, which feels brutal. And at first, and I know I could use this, but this is such a small amount, I'm just going to sort of give it back to the ground. But basically now, just like it's shot off 2 right there, it's going to shoot off 2 more here in both of these places. And so by doing that, especially while the plant is kind of little, you end up with a much bigger, bushier plant that makes more basil rather than one that just grows up tall and spindly. So just remember, basil is a hydra. Cut off its head and 2 more come up, okay? I've got teeny tiny bell peppers, which I need to harvest because they're turning colors even though they're tiny. So this definitely needs a good feeding. I'm gonna dig some moringa into the base of the plants and also make some herbal teas like nettle teas and things like that, and that's how I feed my plants. And then it'll start producing larger ones again. But yeah, these first ones are coming out tiny, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and harvest those and they'll still be super yummy. And so that is definitely one thing to do for sure if you're going to grow your own food, is learn signs of readiness that don't have to do with size, because so often you will get advice that tells you pick when it's at this size, and it's like, well, sometimes your stuff just does not produce as big as they say it will. So I've gotten some relatively large peppers off of these plants. These are going into their 2nd year. They're like perennial peppers now. But yeah, learning those signs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick all of these, not like right this second, but pretty soon. And then come out here and feed the plants some more with some homemade things. And then we will have some big peppers again. I have some other kind of new pepper plants that are doing pretty well. This one is supposed to be a bell pepper, but I'm looking at that and now I'm wondering if it is not a bell pepper, because I did kind of mix my peppers around, and it is entirely possible this is not actually bell pepper, because this is looking a lot more like an Anaheim pepper. And so some of these other ones might be bells, but now I'm wondering if they got mislabeled at the thing. But oh, look, a ladybug. Hello, friend. Thank you. Thank you for patrolling and eating all my aphids. Super appreciate you. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go actually get some seeds in the ground once I show you my jalapeno plants. So these are my giant jalapenos. And I definitely have some harvesting to do. This is not, again, not for today, because I need to get seeds in the ground and get back inside, so I need to stop talking. But I need to get out here and do a good harvest, because I want to make another batch of cowboy candy, which is seriously my favorite thing on this earth. And there's plenty of nice big jalapenos for that. And I love it when they're like this and they're a mix of colors. And we've got some kind of blackish ones,
some red ones, green, and all of that, and I just absolutely love it when the cowboy candy is a mix of all of those colors. It turns out so pretty and it looks really good in the jars, and I don't know, kind of impressive, I think. So anyway, camera off, time to get seeds in the ground.
Well, I guess my goal to not get super sweaty was not realized, but it's okay. I got everything in the ground except the Egyptian spinach and the green okra. I'm gonna go ahead and go back inside because I think where I want to plant these, I need to go ahead and do some weeding and some moving of some old plants, and so I'll just come out and do that on a different day. Maybe when I get out here earlier, like closer to 4:30, which is about when you have to garden pretty much when you garden here in summer. Right, now it is time to take all of these seeds, even the ones I didn't get planted yet, and file them away immediately. I know myself, if I don't get this done right now, I will just end up with piles of seeds in random places, and then I possibly might not be able to find them when I need them, but also even if I can find them, they'll just sort of clutter up my space, and I don't like that. So I just file them away. When I'm ready to plant again, I will pull them out. And so it'll be like, I don't know if it feels like too much effort or too picky, but I feel like my mental peace in between now and the next time I plant is worth just getting in here and grabbing them back out again. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and file them away, and then I'm going to eat some watermelon, then I will take a shower. All right, I ended up getting my shower. It's a lot later now. We also made breakfast. Sage is up now. And I got a whole bunch of rings formed and cut. I have a big wholesale order going to my, there's a shop up in Canada who orders wholesale rings for me, singles that all say the word vegan, and I believe the store is called Vegan Supply. And I will, if I find a link, I'll link it down below for any of my Canadian viewers. And so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I have a really big wholesale order. It's a lot of rings. I'm not doing math on camera. I'll just tell you how many right now. But I also ended up getting my Earth Chimp protein powder giveaway video posted. I was editing that video this morning. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did mention I was up at like 4. I wake up extremely early in summer, just like naturally. I just kind of go bing and I'm like awake even before the sun comes up many times. It's slightly annoying, but I've learned at this point in my life to just embrace it. The opposite happens to me in winter. It becomes extremely difficult for me to get out of bed like before 8. I have to really work at it. It's like I turn into a little bear and enter hibernation mode in winter, but in summer I'm like super awake and alive. I don't even know. But anyway, regardless, I was up at 4, and so I spent the time that I should have been spending outside in the garden, I spent editing that video and getting it posted because I was on a deadline. Actually, I was late for my deadline because it was a collaboration with Earth Chimp. And so I'm still learning to navigate that world. They're my first, collaboration, and I don't know, it's exciting and also a little weird because I don't know, I want to make sure that everything stays authentic and it's still like me and my channel and my content, and that not every single video becomes something that's like sponsored. Because I've seen that happen to a few channels where it's like all of a sudden you can't have a video without them like throwing an ad in somewhere. So I don't know. And I'm very careful about the ads too. Like I have mentioned before, my channel, I have my ads set up to only play at the beginning and only play at the end. So you should not see ads popping up in the middle, as long as I have creative control over my content and over my ads, which I don't know that I would forever. I kind of have a feeling, and I don't know why, but it's just, I guess because people are greedy and they will just make as much money as they possibly can, no matter how annoying or how anxiety inducing it can be. But like for me, a lot of times when I'm watching YouTube, I'm doing things like like even just this, I was just now forming all of these rings. I was watching Rose Red Homestead and I had to keep stopping. My hands are in the middle of something. I had to keep stopping to skip ads. And you could, like, if they're short, I will let them play because I also I want to support channels. But half the time an ad pops up and it's like 4 minutes long and I'm not going to sit through a 4-minute ad, you know, doing, you know what I mean? So anyway, I get it. I watch YouTube as well. But I don't know, I really appreciate Rain Country. It was Heidi over at Rain Country who first mentioned that that's how she sets up her videos. And so her videos are the same way. You can watch a really long Rain Country video without ever being interrupted because she doesn't have ads pop up in the middle. And when she said that, it was, you know, probably like a year and a half ago or so, or 2 years ago or something, I first saw that. And I thought to myself, when I get monetized, that's how I'm going to do my ads too, because of how much I appreciate that. So anyway, I have set it up, but like I said, if I end up ever losing creative control of that, and YouTube is like, forget it, we're going to play ads in the middle whether you want us to or not, which I think they probably will at some point because it would make them more money, right? But until that happens, my videos will be ad-free in the middle. And I also disabled the banner ads because even visually it annoys me and it disrupts me. And I don't know, like, maybe it's because I have ADHD or the low level kind of anxiousness that can come with that because of kind of like overstimulation or whatever. But I don't know. I just want to try to create a little peaceful place on the internet for people. So anyway, that was super long. All that to say, I've done all this. Now I really want to get my makeup done. I'm going to try to do some quick makeup and head to the store. I'm picking up 3 cases of soy milk from Trader Joe's because I order it by the cases so that I don't have to keep going back. It is the cheapest non-fortified soy milk that I have found. Actually, it's not 100% true. I'll show you in a second, but let me show you my rings. So yeah, there they are. This is the point I wanted to get to before like running off to the store. And then I also have a friend coming over today. I'm super excited. She may show up in the video. She may not, depending on her comfort level. She may do it or may not. So anyway, yeah, that's it. But yeah, all my rings. Since I mentioned it, let me go ahead and show you my exception to the soy milk price. Because I get it. It used to be actually $1.79 for a quart. Now it is $1.99 a quart. It's organic, unfortified soy milk, and I just really appreciate that. But let me show you the other one that I have found that is technically cheaper, but I can't like order cases. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so technically this is cheaper. I pick it up at the local Asian market, and it's not too far from my house, but not as easy to get to, or, you know, it's easier to have cases on hand. So this is like $3.89 for a full half gallon. So obviously that is cheaper than $1.99 a quart. The problem with this, and it is unfortified. It's just water and soybeans. The problem is that it's cold. So it's in the cold section and it doesn't have a very long shelf life. So, I mean, maybe like a week or 2 out, but you know, the stuff that's in the cases will last for forever. So even if I could buy like a couple of cases of this, it won't last as long as the other. And purchasing cases of this one, because it's not shelf stable, I have to find storage space in my fridge to store all of that soy milk for all of that time. So anyway, we were kind of in between me getting my cases. So I grabbed one of these as, you know, the best budget option, like in between. I also got a whole bunch of other stuff at the Asian market. I don't know if I should show you. It's like, cause some of it is washing right now cause I just went yesterday. These are cooking chopsticks. I've mentioned my cooking chopsticks before. Maybe at some point in the video I will show you the difference, or wait, these are dry. Here, I'll just show you right now.
All right, so here is my little container that has our long, like our Korean wooden spoons, and then all of our chopsticks, including my original set of cooking chopsticks, which I do love. I actually also like to cook spaghetti with these because it ends up being really handy to like work in the pot. However, I have like, I don't know, like weak little Western wrists. This is not like, I don't have the strength yet in my fingers and in my wrists for cooking with this much distance. So I was thinking to myself, gosh, I wish because like these are still kind of too short. Like you get too close to the pan, you can get splattered, you can get hurt. And I thought, gosh, if they were just a little shorter, that would be super handy for me right now. And so I found these, and they are, you know, they're still taller than these, but they are, and these are, I think they're more Japanese style, like 7-ish inches. These are like 10-inch Chinese chopsticks. So they're a little longer than a 10-inch like Chinese chopstick, but they're a little longer. So they'll put me a little farther away from my pan, and then hopefully be long enough that I'm not getting hit, but still a little shorter, that's a little easier to deal with versus that. So if you get good with cooking chopsticks, it's really handy because you can, like, if you're, for instance, if you're frying something that needs to be flipped, it's really handy to be able to actually physically use the chopsticks to pick the item up and flip it over and stuff like that. And so I'm really loving cooking that way. It's just a handy tool, and I'm really happy I found that size. It just makes cooking easier. But yeah, I have a lot going on and I need to stop distracting myself with this. Get my makeup on, get to Trader Joe's, pick up my cases of soy milk, come back home, make lunch, and hang out with my friend. You did, good job. They are over here. Yeah, we're going up, up, up. Be careful. You got it. Good job. It is the cart. We got it. All right. Okay. Yes, but wait, come back. Don't go far. We will put the cart back where it goes. Yay! All right, now we go to the car and go to the next store. All right, sorry for the loud AC, cannot be avoided at this point, but obviously I decided to tack on grabbing a case of bananas onto this trip because I don't know about your area, but in our area, the health food type stores, these things come in threes. You've got Trader Joe's and Whole Foods are almost always really close to each other. And usually like Sprouts is as well. It's almost always like a trifecta in a very small area. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Sprouts. And I don't know, there's a couple places where you get like a Trader Joe's and a Sprouts, and then a Natural Grocers, which is another local natural place. But anyway, I decided to try to save some gas, and then also just, yeah, to make it, you know, just one trip, grab my case of bananas. I've realized that, especially with things the way they are, and I guess I should stop talking so that I'm not using up all my gas, but like the gas prices skyrocketing, of course that has hit us as well. There are so many reasons that buying in bulk and aiming to shop far less frequently is such a smart move, and I'm discovering that, like, I've been working for, oh gosh, months and months and months, if not years, to get our grocery trips down to like once a month. I've never managed to make it, but I've gotten us to where, like, this week, literally the only thing we're purchasing is the soy milks and the bananas, and that's it. Everything else is already set from purchases from last week. And so we go out and purchase things much less frequently than we used to, and probably far fewer trips to the stores than most people are doing right now. But just these principles, the principles of frugality, buying in bulk, cooking from scratch, you know, it's like I've talked many times in other videos where you prep for one thing, and then it ends up covering you in so many other scenarios and situations that you didn't even think of. So for me, gas hitting $5.69 a gallon is what I just saw driving over here. And I know for some people that's not even as high as what some people are paying. But $5.69 a gallon gas is not something I ever thought I would see in America in my lifetime. It's unreal. But I don't, you know, I'm not going to get into all of the stuff that people get into. It's just, you know, no matter who you are, that affects you, right? So, but like, I never thought of that. We were always originally attempting to do it because our desire and our dream is to live a rural life, to buy a property like in a rural place somewhere. And whether or not that dream ever comes to fruition, and I don't know why I'm tearing up about it. We want it so bad, but whether or not that dream ever comes to fruition, we ever end up with the ability to purchase land or whatever, if there's any land left, by the time we get to buy it, if we ever are in that position, yeah, it still will serve us, right, to have already practiced these habits. And like, that was what was originally starting a lot of this for us. Trying to get down to just once a month grocery shopping trip was getting us prepared, not just physically in as far as like having a store of food or whatever, but there's so much about preparedness that isn't just about the stuff that you have on the shelf. It's about the skills that you possess and the habits that you possess, the routines that you run your life by. That's all preparedness. And yeah, it's kind of incredible to me how much already being so far, not that we are super advanced or whatever, but being as far as we are in that lifestyle, how much it already has helped us with these skyrocketing gas prices. And yeah, like if we absolutely had to, we could just not shop for quite a while, you know? I could go buy a 44-pound box of cabbage for $4.50, and it would suck, but we could have produce for like a whole month off of that. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe not a whole month, but anyway, I already know the stuff. So it puts you in a much more secure position. So if you have not thought about or looked into preparedness on any level, then just please look around, try to find out about it. And also, just start where you are. You don't have to start, like we started so small and so simply because we had literally no budget for this. And that was another reason why we tried, or why we started. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop talking and going to go ahead and head over to Trader Joe's. All right, we're home and here are my cases. There's 36 quarts of soy milk. Will probably last us a little over a month. We actually typically go through about a quart a day, between creaming coffees and teas, and then Sage having it in her cup sometimes. And so that, you know, quart is not a very big bottle, but you know, it'll be good. I don't have to go back to Trader Joe's now for like a whole month, so that's nice. And yeah, I try really hard not to allow things to build up on the edges of the shelves. I like to have space for everything on the shelves, but unfortunately that's not always 100% possible. I sort of end up running into the question of like, what is more important, you know, to have stuff actually stored or to have storage space. So like, well, for instance, I'm running into a dilemma right now with my hangers. I guess I've gotten a few extra clothes. So now, when pretty much all of my clothes are clean, I don't have enough hangers. I need to go through and purge. But if all my clothes are not clean, then I have enough hangers. So I wonder, do I need to go buy like another 12 pack of hangers if sometimes I have enough hangers? And mostly I do have enough, and just only like the rare, you know, day that I don't have like any dirty clothes, that I don't have enough hangers. It's like one of those things where I'm like, do I need to fix this or not? So I don't know that I necessarily need to fix it. I don't like buying extra stuff. It might not look like that, but I really don't. So anyway, yeah, then I need to go ahead and also go deal with the bananas because they are way riper than I like for them to be.
I'm probably going to end up freezing a lot of bananas this weekend. Okay, step number 1 is to get them out of the case. They will ripen much faster if you leave them in, which is, you know, if your bananas are 100% green, well, then that's a good thing. But if they come to you already yellow, you have to get them out, or you're not going to get any kind of shelf life out of them at all. I did already eat one, and they're like maybe a day or two before what I like for them to be when I'm just eating them, because they still have some of that starchy taste, and they're not very sweet yet, but they're still soft enough to eat. But yeah, they're going to ripen really fast, especially in this warm weather. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be freezing a lot of bananas this weekend. All right, I got all the bananas emptied. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my great banana wall? Yeah, you can. All right. Anyway, oh my goodness. And now my friend is coming over with my godson. And so now I'm trying to think of like, what are we making for lunch? Because she offered to take us out to lunch, and I was like, no, I was going to cook. Let's just cook it and stay at my place. And now I'm like, we should have gone out to lunch. I think it's like when I was breaking down the box after I put the bananas out, I just went boom, like I hit my wall. Do you guys do that too? Like, I don't know, you hit a certain point in your day where you're just like, I'm officially done now. So, but no, we should be able to make something good. I'll see, like, what does she feel like eating, and we'll just throw something together and hang out. And then I'm sure that hanging out with her for a while is going to refill my tank back up, which is good because I still have to do my cleaning for today. So yeah, anyway, I need some more in my tank. All right, yay! She was willing to be in the video. So this is my friend Audra, my Dominican friend, the mother of my godson, one of my best friends. So anyway, she came over for lunch to hang out for a little bit. And we just got to talking, and I realized she has never seen my pantry area, like my whole room where I have my pantry. And so I thought it might be kind of funny to catch her reaction.
Yes, because we were actually talking about organizing. In the process, I emptied my pantry to organize. And she's like, have you seen my closet? I was like,
Felix,
no.
I don't know if you want Felix in it.
I don't care.
He's trying.
This is live, right? This is like real life. This is
well,
what happens.
I just don't know, because, you know, I try to be, like, some people don't want their kids, like, on video or...
If not, we just get the chancla. Where's the chancla?
Okay, so let's go look at it, and she's never seen like the full scope of it, but she knows how I am. She knows I'm like a prepper, and also you know too, and I've told you before that this, like I mentioned that we're not only prepping for ourselves, that there's a list. I have a list, and her family is on the list of people who can come into our house and eat our food. And it's a very short list. It's basically my family and her family. That's it. So,
all right, let's do this.
All right, cool.
You're going to lead the way.
I will. We'll go ahead and walk in and see. Oh, hey, Felix.
Wow, Patty, where in the world did you get all the time to do this? Sweet baby Jesus. This is fabulous. I love those buckets.
Yeah, I got those on Azure Standard. I keep telling you about Azure Standard. But yeah.
I love it. Oh, I love how everything is facing out. So
yes.
That's what I'm trying to get my pantry to look like. But
yes.
Keeps
Well,
it up.
you have to, or else you don't know what it is. Right?
What did you make over here?
What? Oh, here, sorry.
Oh, rum and epinacea rum and dragon rum. And
yeah.
Ooh, shepherd's purse.
That's like my bulk collection of tinctures that I've made. So they get stored there, and then I pour into like the little dropper bottles.
Yes.
But like that's my
my
bulk
chocolate
storage.
Vanilla you made me.
Oh yeah, the chocolate extract. Oh, and here is the lasagna I was telling you about.
Oh, okay.
So this is the it's a really delicious gluten-free lasagna, and that was because Thad is gone. So now we're not making giant lasagnas because that boy eats so much. Apparently, I'm not needing to cook nearly as much food with him gone. So here you can have that.
Oh,
and then you can try it.
Thank you. I come to Kathy's house and I get gifts.
Well, that's how it is. But yeah, you can try it out. But no, I have a partial now because I made like a little lasagna because yeah, he's not here, so.
And what is this?
Those are sprouted grains that I've sprouted. So that one's spelt and soft white wheat, and then the other one is hard wheat.
Okay, this looks fabulous. Ooh, I like all your dried. So these are all your dehydrated stuff that you do, right?
Yes, and then there's the canned goods. I'm trying to get through the canned goods, and I'm not going to do much more canning. It's mainly I'm going to stick mainly to the dehydrated stuff now. It just takes up so much less space. And the other thing is because like these guys, you have to worry about their seals. You can't stack anything on it. You can like stack those because it doesn't really matter, you know. And so it'll take up a lot less space in multiple ways. Like, because I can stack, you know.
Very nice. I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you're still my friend now.
Yes, I don't think you're crazy. You're just crazy fabulous.
Well, thank you.
And if I need to, I'll give you the chocolates. But we won't do that today.
Well, good. I'm glad. Because I did tell them about my enchiladas and making them like a lasagna instead of doing
lazy way. Yeah, I would have gotten out the chocolate and smashed it with them.
I don't do all the perfect little wraps. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love you so much. So I keep also like saying we have to get you on for making tamales.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Like you can teach us all how to do it authentically.
Okay. Sounds good.
I can chase
All right.
Now we've got Felix hiding. And Sage is chasing him. Okay, cool. All right.
Bye, guys.
And give Audra some love in the comments.
No,
Because she deserves it. I will get the chancla if you don't give her some love in the comments. We are back at the meal plan. I don't know if you guys are sick of seeing this calendar yet, but I actually just ended up repeating that first week again for next week because the first week was terrible. I've shared before, and so I'm not going to get into it. Basically, I have the weird thing, probably kind of an ADHD thing, where as soon as I was no longer juggling this actively in my mind and I wrote it down, then it's like, that's taken care of now and I don't have to think about it. And so I spent the whole first week of the meal plan basically not making the meals at all. We had sandwiches like 2 or 3 times that week. It was kind of hilarious. But I figured that out and got to where I have a habit now of checking so that I am aware. And it's just like in the morning, I just check it on my phone because it's in Google Calendar now. I can pull it up pretty easily. And so I always know where I am. So the planning it out has been pretty great, actually. And I've just realized a new thing I wanted to share is I realized I don't necessarily have to do these jobs where, okay, so for instance, I want to make 2 convenience jars for sauces for my lasagna and for my pizza this week. But actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make them tonight, but I'm going to make 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm set for the whole week next week. And then the kind of cool thing about it too is I can come, even if I do it tonight, I can mark this as completed and it'll be completed even if it's not like the correct day. And so I think that that's pretty great too. And I want to leave these here though, because when I copy these and I make, if I want to replicate this week again, I already have all my tasks out. So I don't want to like change it to make 3 things of sauce here. So anyway, I'm also realizing, so for instance, there's going to be a spice mix for this soup tonight, the super soup. And I need to make a cornbread mix. And so I think I might end up making the jars, the spice mix, and the cornbread mix kind of like all at the same time to save myself time. So I don't even have to do it, the day before. I'll just have it ready to go on my pantry shelf and just make the making of those meals that much easier. So as I'm figuring out how to actually do this is new to me, and it's definitely not my strength, not my typical wheelhouse to do stuff like this, like calendars and written down things and spreadsheets and all this stuff, and like, oh, I got like food on my face. It's not in my wheelhouse. It is not my normal thing, but I'm learning how to do it and kind of struggling bit by bit, like a little baby. I'm gonna fall and then continue getting myself back up. One of the things that I heard and I think is really good, I like to share this, and I don't know if this kind of like goopy content is what people even want, but as far as your negative self-talk, is to think about, like, get a picture in your mind of, say, a toddler, you know, like an 11 or 12-month-old or 10-month-old, some of them, goodness gracious, but like learning how to walk, taking their first steps. And you don't, well, at least if you're not an abusive parent or an abusive adult, you don't look at that little child if they're struggling to take their first steps and they fall and then say, you idiot, like, we're all walking around, what's your problem? You know, you don't say that. You say, oh, good job, like, try again, recognizing they're building a new skill, they're gonna fall and they're learning. And so I try to think of that, like, when I'm going through stuff like this, and then the tendency is to feel like a complete idiot and then want to give up. But then, you know, to remember, I'm learning a new skill. I'm going to fall, like that first week. Like, why do I suddenly stink at making dinner? Like, I'm even worse than I was before I made the meal plan. But like, just recognizing it's the new skill. So anyway, I don't know, that was free. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Just sort of think of that. Every time you try to do something new, if you totally screw up, you fall down, talk to yourself like that little toddler. Don't say anything mean to yourself. Don't be abusive to yourself. And yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's where we are. Now I'm just sort of relaxing, watching some Three Rivers Homestead and the little birds coming here and there outside, just while I'm taking all of those rings I showed you in the beginning and taking them and turning them from this into this, like closing the rings, getting them prepared for all of the firing. So I'm just sort of going to give myself a little bit of a break, quote unquote, break while I'm doing this work. But this is like easy, kind of mindless work. And I'm going to give myself the treat of a little bit of YouTube while I am taking care of this. Hey, it's late. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. So we were eating yummy dinner and watching a couple of episodes of The Crown with Elliot. I'm knitting socks for Sage. I've picked up my knitting needles again and I'm making her a pair of socks, and I made the first one, and ever since I made it, it's right here, she has not, pretty much almost hasn't taken it off her foot. So these yarns are old from back, you know, yarns I had before I went vegan. They are wool sock yarns, but yeah, I'm just using up a couple of the leftovers, you know, from previous projects. And so I started running out of the blue, and I made the toe red, and now on this one I'm seriously running low on the blue. So I've done the leg, and I'm actually making the heel red on this one. That's this part, or the heel flap, I guess. That's this part on the other sock, right here. It's going to be red, and then I'm probably, in the heel turn, will be red as well. And I'm probably going to do stripes of blue and red all down the sock until I run out of blue, and then it'll turn into a red sock, because I have one more ball of the red over here in my scrap area, because I'm working on, well, this is like an old project I pulled out years. I can't believe how many years it's been since I've done this stuff. So an old project I had for using up sock yarn scraps, because I've knit a ton of socks in my life. I'm doing these without a pattern. There is a pattern. Maybe someday I'll make a video on this. There's a method. It's just you start with the measurement you need, and then you just do, it's math for the rest of the sock, and there's not really like a pattern to it. So I just measured how big her foot was and then cast on as many stitches as I needed, and just make the sock without a pattern. So anyway, this is for people who are not knitters. That might sound like crazy, like really cool or whatever, but honestly it's a super simple thing once you know the method. Just kind of like, also like crocheting granny squares, it's, you know, once you know the method, it's like simple. So anyway, okay, that's it. I'm working on socks for Sage, and once they're finished, I'll definitely show you guys. And yeah, thank you for joining me today. It's been super fun. I've had a lot of fun taking you guys through the day, especially because we got to see Audra. I'm glad you guys got to see her. And yeah, I guess that's all. So definitely let us know in the comments down below if you want that tamale video, because we have to make that happen. But yeah, anyway, as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.